If Vasyl Lomachenko does not fight to become Tank Davis's mandatory, this is one of the most blatant and obvious ducks I've ever seen. Let's talk.
Straighter, not roundhouse right hand.
And that's what we've been talking about. The straight shot is the one where he gets leverage on it.
I don't want to kill somebody
back
for
a little
few
bit.
seconds.
Nah, I want a body on my record.
Now, I want to see you fight motherfuckers. I do. All right, I'm with you. I'm with you. As long as you're trying to fight the great, the best competition.
Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we're here. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we're here. Yo, it's the best, fight the best. If you ain't with the moto, just click the link, bitch, and get buried like the rest. It ain't gonna work how you want it. These trolls already tried, too many come but don't leave. So if you here, you gotta die. I'm spitting straight facts. These bitches crying cause they hate that. The LDBC's the top topic, bitch, hate that. We the ones that bring the truth to these fans. So why you hate, I'ma laugh and keep counting these bands. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you.
Welcome to the graveyard.
So, for years, Vasyl Lomachenko has been claiming that he wants to fight Tank Davis. He's been calling for a Tank Davis fight. It's been Tank Davis this, Tank Davis that. Javanta, I just know Floyd, I want your fight. For years. Since the end of 2015, Vasyl Lomachenko has been calling for Tank Davis. And since the end of 2015, Vasyl Lomachenko has been in a position to clout chase, right? To say he wants to fight Tank Davis, knowing that Tank Davis is a champion and it's going to be two champions determining A side, B side splits and all this other extra shit. You know, Vasyl Lomachenko never had to do what they told other fighters to do. Bro, Devin, if you really want to fight Tiho, vacate your email belt, vacate the WBC belt, the email belt, vacate it, and become Tiho's mandatory. Deontay Wilder, you really don't want to fight Anthony Joshua. If you really wanted to fight Anthony Joshua, vacate your WBC title. You're not a real champion anyway. You're the worst champion in heavyweight history. So just vacate your title and become the IBF mandatory to Anthony Joshua if you really want to fight him. If you really want to. Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, you guys don't want to fight each other. If you really want to fight each other, guys, just vacate one of your belts and become the mandatory for the other one, blah, blah, blah. But Lomachenko was never asked to do that. No one ever asked Lomachenko to vacate his titles. If you really want to fight Tank Davis, vacate your title and become the IBF mandatory to Gervonta Tank Davis. Vacate your titles and become the WBA mandatory to Gervonta Tank Davis. Vasyl Lomachenko was never asked. It was always, well, Tank Davis, you stop doing what you're doing and fight Lomachenko because we say so. It don't matter if you're 20, 21 years old, 22 years old. It don't matter. I don't care. Don't matter if this man is a two-time gold medal Olympian, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Stop everything you're doing and fight this man because that's what we want. We want you, a little thug hoodlum, to get knocked out by this white man, the speed, the footwork, the combination of angles, matrix, the greatest fighter ever. That's what we want. So stop everything you're doing and fight this white man so he can knock you out, so he can beat you up, so he can expose you, so he can embarrass you, so we can spit in the face of black people and say, hey, look at us. See, the Eastern Europeans are taking over. So stop everything you're doing. And for years, they pressed that type of whack-ass narrative. Behind the scenes, of course. In people's faces, they want to agree with BFTB. All we want to see is the best fight the best. But when I ask, how the fuck is Tank the best? I mean, he's getting there, but he don't have a belt yet. He's knocking motherfuckers out, yeah, but he don't have a belt. Like the niggas he's knocking out, we don't know who the fuck these people are. He's supposed to knock these motherfuckers out. He's not a champion. Oh man, he's supposed to be best. It's crazy. He's supposed to want this guy. This guy, he's really good. If Loma Chico out, you stop fighting because Loma Chico called him out. Loma Chico's the greatest fighter ever. Loma Chico, all these foreign fights, amateurs only lost 2 times, really one time, or actually no time. It's undefeated amateurs, really. He's got that one loss, but he went back and he avenged it, so it really don't count. He exits the route because when you lost one and you came back and you beat the guy, that exit out, that makes it 0. Well, that deletes it off your resume. You're undefeated, blah, 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 all this stupid ass shit. And I'm like, okay, all right, if that's the road we're taking. If that road we take, no problem out of it. Fuck belts. We believe Tank is the best. We believe that Loma is the best. Fuck the belts, make the fight. Cool. So if it's fuck belts, make the fight. Fuck the belts, make the fight for this Loma Chico. Why does it have to fuck the belts, make the fights for black fighters? Well, why is that? Fuck the belts, make the fights for black and brown. But it's not fuck the belts, make the fights for white people. And if y'all want to claim it to be racist, you claim whatever you want. It's facts. Fuck the belts, make the fights when it comes to black fighters. Drop the belt, get in line again to become somebody's mandatory, and hope that they'll fight you because it's a mandatory, so they don't vacate the belt or move around or lose somebody else. So drop your belt, get in line again to fight them because we said so. Wow. So how come no one is telling Vasyl Lomachenko to fight one of 2 fighters that will make him the mandatory to Gervonta Tank Davis? Why isn't Vasyl Lomachenko held to the same standard, the same accountability that you want to hold black and brown fighters to? Vasyl Lomachenko is coming back after being gone for a few months, which is normal because niggas only fight once or twice a year any fucking way. They don't need no fucking tune-ups to fight once or twice a year. But Vasyl Lomachenko is coming back, the speed, the footwork, the combination angles, and he is fighting in a motherfucking tune-up. In the same month that Devin Haney is fighting. So you're clout chasing Devin Haney. You're using his fight month to push your fight. Now all of a sudden you're coming back in October. Why can't you come back in November? Why can't you come back in December? Why do you have to come back in the exact same month using the same network that Devin Haney's on? Because you want to steal his shine. You want to steal his thunder. That's why. Nothing more, nothing less. You're not trying to fight Devin. You're coming back and you want to fight a fucking tune-up. A tune-up. The speed, the combinations, the footworks, and the angles. One of the greatest fighters the world has ever seen needs a fucking tune-up. After sitting and playing Call of Duty for 3 months, you need a fucking tune-up. Insane. Fucking insane. I'm blown away at how motherfuckers is sitting here acting like this man didn't clout chase Tank Davis for years, as this man didn't act like he wanted to fight Tank for years, as this man didn't have shoulder injuries. Apparently, shoulder injuries, came back still saying he's interested in Tank Davis. He didn't need no fucking tune-ups off these shoulder injuries. So if he didn't need no tune-ups then, why do you need one now? Errol Spence came back from a car accident, no tune-ups. Errol Spence came back from eye surgery, no tune-ups. But the greatest fighter the world has ever seen, the speed, the footwork, the combinations and the angles, the gold standard in the sport of boxing, needs a fucking tune-up because he was sitting on his ass playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare for 3 months. And you need a fucking tune-up. Lies. This man is clout chasing Tank Davis. If he doesn't fight one of 2 fighters, and both of them are in a WBA and both of them are ranked ahead of him, you can fight either one of those guys and become the mandatory to Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank Davis fights his mandatories. He has not turned down one yet. Motherfuckers saying, this and saying that. I challenge anybody listening to me to tell me a mandatory fight that Tank Davis did not take. Any one of them. Liam was his IBF Mando. He fought that man. Those are facts. He fought that man. Fruit Roll-Up was his WBA mandatory. He fought that man. So what makes anybody think that he will not fight Vasyl Lomachenko if Lomachenko becomes his WBA mandatory? Wouldn't that prove that Lomachenko really wants to fight Tank Davis? Wouldn't that prove it? You have the shot now. You're not a champion. You have nothing dictating you, no rules holding you back from anything. You're ranked number 3 in the WBA. You're ranked number 1 in other sanctioning bodies where Devin Haney holds all the belts. Well, Devin Haney holds all the belts, period. But he holds the WBA super, so he doesn't have a WBA super mandatory. But the WBA regular is Gervonta Tank Davis. So if Vasyl Lomachenko really wants to fight Tank Davis, now is your time, buddy. Now's your time, little guy. Now's your time. Yeah, now's your time. Because you can become the mandatory, the WBA mandatory to Gervonta Tank Davis. Yes, you can. Because you cannot become Devin Haney's WBA mandatory because he does not have a WBA mandatory. He has a WBC. Well, he really don't have that either because he's a WBC franchise champion. But he has an IBF and a WBO mandatory. But if you really want Tank Davis, because that's who you wanted before you never really claimed you wanted to fight Devin. But the guy that you claimed you wanted to fight all this fucking time was Tank Davis. Oh, I want to fight Tank Gervonta. I want Tank Davis. Floyd, give me your fighter. I want that's the one I want. It's Anna know you. Anna know I've been same building. You buy watch. But I want Gervonta. I want your fighter. Okay. Now you can become his Mando. Yeah. Now you can become Tank Davis's Mando. You take a mandatory split. You fight the champion on the champion's terms, the champion's ground, meaning Showtime, pay-per-view. There will be no split between these motherfuckers. There will be no, where we'll have a joint pay-per-view. No, because Lomachenko has never did a pay-per-view. It will not be a joint pay-per-view. You will be this man's mandatory. Yeah. You will be his mandatory. And you will fight this man on Showtime pay-per-view. Fox pay-per-view for PBC. In the biggest paycheck that you're going to make in your career. For his belt. And you will get knocked the fuck out for your troubles. But there's a reason why you're not going this. And there's a reason why nobody's saying anything about this. They're real quick to shit on Tank and say, oh, man, Tank is ducking. Tank is scared. Tank don't want to fight Lomachenko. Tank is running. Tank is running from Loma. Tank is hiding from Loma. Okay, well, now Lomachenko is in the driver's seat. Yeah. He's in the driver's seat right now, meaning he can dictate terms. When I say terms, dictate becoming the mandatory. That's the term I'm talking about. Yeah. You can fight one fighter and become Tank Davis's mandatory. Dictate those terms. Fight that one guy. There's 2 of them. You can pick one. Fight one. Jazrael Corrales and what's the other dude? Mike, whatever the fuck his name is. That dude, something Ali, whatever. That dude. There you go. Fight one of those 2. Fight one of those 2, become Tank Davis's WBA mandatory, and then press for that fight. Bring the bitch out of him. Oh, Tank, if you got to fight me or vacate. Fight me for the belt that you decided to keep when you had 2. Fight me for that belt or vacate that belt. Hey, you guys say y'all don't want to pay sanction fees anyway. So why do you have the WBA regular if y'all don't want to pay sanction fees? You're paying 3% for that anyway. Yeah, you just defended that belt. Yeah, you're paying 3% and you defended that belt. So Floyd Mayweather's running around saying, if Tank was to have all the belts, I'd tell him to drop all of them and just keep one. Okay, cool. Well, you got one right now. The WBA regular. You got it right now. And the WBA regular has mandatories. And the WBA regular's mandatory can be Vasyl Lomachenko. Now let's see if he presses for it. Let's see if Lomachenko really, really wanted to fight Tank Davis, because now's his time. Right now. Because if he goes any other route, he is ducking Tank Davis the exact same way he ducked Devin Haney. BFTB. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. And I'm out.